Odd when I do these things on my own, I'm not waiting for anyone to join. Um, just me. Right, we might as well crack on now. I'm trying to remember how to get, there we go. That's how I get my, no, that is not how I do it. Trying to work out how to get my slides on the screen. How is everyone today? How are you today? No, I don't want that. We're just having a little play here with getting slides on while waiting for a few people to join. I've just been for a little walk and yeah, it's good to get out and get fresh air, isn't it? I haven't done that for days. I just haven't been out. I've just been trying to get caught up on work, but it's bad, isn't it? I tell everyone to get outside and then I never do it myself. So yeah, I thought, nope, come on, we've got to do it. We've got to get out there. Right, let me just do this. How do I do that? I don't know how I do it. Just wait a few minutes while people are joining. One of the questions that I want to get you to think about is, how are you? Such a overused question. We ask each other that all the time, but how many times do we just stop and properly think about it? How are you? In the Another Door program, it's one of the very first questions that we talk about, and if someone wants to coach with me, it's one of the first things that we talk about, because how are we, and just giving ourselves still time, just being still and thinking about that question, yeah, it can help us. It can help us in so many ways, because quite often we're just pushing through, we're just going over the surface and we're not properly staying still to think about how we're really doing. And it's where we get answers. You know, we find out if we're okay or not. So that would be the first thing I'd say is check in today and ask yourself, how are you doing? Are you okay? How are you doing? Right, I'm going to get this up on the screen. I'm going to do slides today. I don't usually do slides, but I think it will help. So I'm going to use them. What do I want to do? I want to do that. Here we go. So let's get stuck in. Thank you for joining. I'm Eleanor Tweddell. I run Another Door, along with my career coach, associate, buddy, business partner in crime, Amanda Paradine. We've been running Another Door for about a year, but in all sorts of different ways. In April, just like everybody else, we brought everything online. We'd been doing live events up to that point and working with businesses to support them with outplacement for people, but we'd not really brought it all online. So that was a new thing for us, but we got stuck right into it. We've been adapting and trialing stuff and growing with our community from that point. So everything we do now is based on people's wants and needs when they have been made redundant. So today, what I'm going to talk about is the 5 steps to thrive. My book, Why Losing Your Job Could Be the Best Thing That Ever Happened to You. 5 Steps to Thrive After Redundancy. The book came out in November 2020, and it's based on these 5 steps that when I was made redundant and I started to try and help myself through my thinking and what I wanted to do next and what my options were, I needed process to help me through that journey. And that's really what these 5 steps are about. So that's what we are going to share. Right, let's see if I can get this moving. Another door you probably already know is a podcast as well, where we talk to all sorts of experts about navigating job loss and when a door closes and what you do. It's also on Crowdcast. If you look us up on Crowdcast, which is possibly where you're watching this now, although this film is on YouTube as well. But you can find so much good resources there. There's something for everybody to help you with wherever you're at, whether you're feeling a bit lost, whether you're feeling a bit stuck, you need support, ideas, it's all there. So please have a look through the replays. Oh, thank you very much. Just had my lunch given to me. That's the way we roll these days, isn't it? Okay, let's get stuck in. So, another door is all about these 3 steps: shock, stuck, slow go, unstuck, and thrive. And these are the 5 steps that are in the book. And these are the 5 things that I think really help you to understand where you're at, what you should be focusing on, or where you could explore focusing on to help you get through. Now, I don't pretend that any of this is easy. I think things are possible. So I would never just say, just pull positive pants on and push through. I just don't think that's where you're at right now. And even the title of my book, I can get that, it probably feels a far off dream that anything good can happen, especially if you've just recently been made redundant. So it's not about that. It's about the reality of it. And shock for me is one of those stages that actually sometimes people try and push you through too fast and you don't embrace it. You try and get positive, you try and find solutions, and all that you do is you don't deal with what's happened to you. You move on too quickly, or you try and find a solution too quickly, and this is where overwhelm comes from. It's where you can sink quicker. So the first step is definitely embrace shock. Know that you've lost something, acknowledge it, try to control and manage thoughts and stop escalation of panic, drama, worry. That's all in your control. It's definitely okay to wallow when you've had a shock. It's okay. You don't need to beat yourself up, and you need to look after yourself. That's your number one priority. So this is the Elizabeth Kubler-Ross change curve, and this was originally created because she did a study of how we grieve. And really, when you lose a job, when a door closes for you, that is the process you're going through. You're going through loss. So this curve, to a degree, has usefulness. When we lose a job, we're in shock, with a bit of denial, then we get very frustrated, then we can get low, but then we start experimenting and we start coming out and we start believing in possibility. Beautiful curve. Sometimes it looks more like this, the curveball curve, and this is what I talk about in the book. It's where one day you can feel really excited and hopeful, the next day you feel really low and not feeling great and lose confidence. And what we're trying to say here is that's completely normal. So if you have lots of different emotions, some days it can be actually in an hour you can feel really hopeful, and then just one little thing triggers you and it sends you off back down. It feels messy and squiggly and all a bit of a mess. It's fine, completely normal. So don't try and push through. Just embrace where you're at and allow yourself a little bit of time just to rest and think about what's happened. Now, I understand that if you need money and that's heavy on your mind, you've got bills coming in, that's very difficult. What we're trying to say here is build into your day just a bit of you time, that it is okay just to relax and rest, because it is part of moving on. It is part of getting to your solution quicker. Looking after yourself is absolutely key. There's no point in running yourself to the ground, because at this point in time, you're trying to find solutions, you're trying to pitch yourself at peak performance, put yourself out there, be confident, be brave, go and give the best pitch of your life at an interview. And at the same time as that, having to pitch in that high spot at the same time as that, you're feeling low and run down. So looking after yourself is a key priority. Keep yourself moving, go for walks, keep your brain active, get out the puzzle book, get out stuff that just keeps you active all the time. Eat well. I don't need to say that, do I? But I remember, lying on the sofa, eating a big packet of hobnobs while watching some nonsense on the telly, just having a bit of a sorry for myself day. Fine every now and again, but really try and look after yourself. And obviously sleep well. Now, sleep is a hard one, especially when you've got so much worry. It's very difficult to have a good night's sleep. But there's little things that you can do. In the book, I talk about routines. So I did a bit of research around sleep. There's an amazing book called Why We Sleep. Please look that up if you're having sleep problems. It really helps you to understand how you can set routines that will help you to program the brain that it's sleep time and it's ready. Try meditations, look up on YouTube about things you can listen to that will help ease that. And if you do find yourself waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning and you're really worried about stuff and it's just awful, get up. Don't lie in bed just wallowing. Get up, get a notebook and start scribbling ideas. Start writing to yourself that you've got this, you're going to be all right this time next year. It's going to be completely different. So your whole priority, look after yourself. Manage your thoughts. We are in control of everything we're thinking. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that, but we are. Whatever happens to us is a very different thing to how we respond to it. So the moment we know that we are choosing how we're responding, we're choosing that, no one else is telling us how to do it, then we can start to feel more in control. So all those stories in your head right now about I'm not worth it, perhaps I was fired because I'm not good enough, perhaps I'll never do this again, perhaps I've been found out, all of that chitter chatter in your head, there's no one else. So you can also calm it down and you can work on that. A brilliant book, if that resonates, is The Chimp Paradox by Dr. Steve Peters, and he talks about this little chimp in our head that's continually chatting away, and actually that chimp can work harder for us. So if we embrace that and know that this chitter chatter and the self-doubt and the self kind of sabotage that's going on in there is under our control, we're creating it, nobody else, things start to change for you. So shock. Life is under no obligation to give us what we expect. I love that quote because it's true. Like nothing is certain actually, and all this talk of so much uncertainty at the moment. There never was certainty. None of us ever knew what tomorrow is going to bring, but perhaps it's just been more put in our face more and made us feel more vulnerable and fragile, especially in the last couple of months. So actually embracing how we deal with change, how we deal with things coming at us, can really help us change our lives. It changes the way that we'll deal with things in the future. So it's very powerful to work on this stuff and to view it like it's a training exercise. It's the same thing. If you're going to train for a marathon, you need to start putting in the hours, putting in the training, get your mind into it. This is the same thing. You can start to think of yourself as a mind that needs training, and you can get yourself into a completely different space by doing a little bit of work each day on your mind and how you're keeping it in shape. So, second step, stuck. If the first step was all about shock and embracing it and saying, okay, I've lost something, it's okay to wallow for a while, you might say at some point, okay, I'm ready to move on now, but I feel stuck. What do I do next? So stuck is a positive sign. If you're feeling stuck, reframe, tell yourself, okay, it means I'm ready. I'm looking forward now. So the door's closed. I'm now looking forward and I'm ready to step into the future. So it's a sign. It's a sign that you're ready. So embrace that and say, okay, I'm open-minded now. I'm curious. I'm going to explore this. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make this a good thing. That is what Stuck is about. It's about letting go of beliefs and things that you think are true. It's opening up to possibility. And that might sound absolutely crazy right now, but the people that we work with, the ones that are open-minded, remain open and don't fill themselves with can't, but it's all right for you, all of that stuff. They fill themselves with, okay, let's try, let's stay open, let's learn, let's ask questions. They get a result quicker. So work on it. Stuck is a time to open up. It's a sign of possibility. Possibility is the biggest thing you can have. It's about hope. I hope something good's going to come out of this. So the whole point of Another Door is trying to say, don't just kind of lose your job and just get another job. Lose your job and upgrade your life, upgrade where you are right now. Do things differently, own your next steps. It might not all happen tomorrow, but you can start to step forward into a longer term goal. So start putting that sort of feeling into what you do and start having those longer term goals, and let's see what happens. That's the whole point of possibility. Many people have done that journey before. Why can't you? One of the equations that we work with in Another Door program is hope plus ideas plus action. It's this whole thing that if you put a little bit of hope into what you do, and sometimes that's all you can do, you're really tired some days, you're overwhelmed, you're just feeling not great, just hold on to hope. I hope this is going to be all right. From hope starts to create a space that allows you to start having ideas. It allows things to come in. You say, okay, I've got a bit of hope about this. What if this could happen? What if I could do this? And that's where ideas come in. And from that, suddenly you start to think, yeah, well, I'm going to take a bit of action. I might ask somebody about that. I might tell someone about that. And that one gentle step into action starts the momentum. So hope plus ideas plus action is the whole equation that I see put into your day. Even when you're not feeling great, just start with a little bit of hope and let's see where it goes to. In the step of Stuck, the biggest thing you can start doing is getting to know yourself. There you are. Who are you? And ask yourself big questions like, what am I doing? Why have I done what I've always done? What are my values? What are my strengths? What have I been doing all this time? What's my experience? This is all part of getting your next move. It might feel quite self-indulgent to start thinking about this. If it's feeling comfortable, perhaps ask someone, like, what's the best thing about working with me? What have I been doing? What kind of words would you use to describe me? Perhaps start there. Or just do a little simple exercise at what comes up around what have you been enjoying as part of your job in the past. All this starts to give you clues as to what to do next. So it's really worthwhile exploring it. This exercise as well really works hard when you get into an interview situation. So you go for an interview and people say, when have you achieved this? What are your strengths? How would you deal with that? You'll have all of this because you've done the thinking already. To get to know yourself, spend time understanding you and have real honest conversation with yourself. What's been going well for you? What hasn't been going well for you? If you need help with that, that's where mentors come in, that's where coaching comes in. So reach out and ask people, or see if you can find a buddy to go through the Another Door program with, for example. And you can discuss how you're getting on. Explore you and how you are going to help you move forward. So this whole concept of go exploring, getting curious, doing stuff that probably feels uncomfortable, that's fine. It's no good being comfortable. That's not the aim. If you're comfortable, it means that you're not trying, you're not broadening yourself, you're not putting yourself out there, you're staying very safe, which is okay, but you're not going to get that next move in that space. So be encouraged by learning. Encourage yourself that it's fine to fail. Experiment with stuff. Play with ideas. Don't worry about the outcomes. Far too many people think that, oh, I need a beautifully plan to go and I know what the objectives are, I know what the targets are before I can take a first step. But actually, the first step is playing. Just having an idea and saying, well, what if I did this? What would be amazing? What would be hard? What would be difficult? Who would I need? Play in that space. So whether you're trying to find a job next or you're playing with starting a new business, play with what is the possibilities. Start by having a look at your career journey. So map out, right, okay, this is where I started, this is when this happened. These are sort of milestones of your career journey so far. I always say to people, take about 20 minutes on this and map out those moments that really stick in your mind as moments of like, wow, in my career, that was an amazing achievement. Or, oh, you know what, that wasn't a great moment. And dig deeper. Why? Why was it amazing? Why was it tricky? Dig deeper into what was it that made you move jobs. Think back. Those sliding door moments. Again, all of this work, thinking back and just embracing those moments, help you to start building forward, because you'll understand things to look out for, things to avoid next time, and things that you really do want to look out for and build on. So have an explore around your career journey. That's very career and work orientated, but there's also something else that comes into play, and that is life. Life comes into play and it all interacts. We know this, but sometimes we disregard it. So now is a good time to have a think about your life dashboard. The dashboard is kind of like a version of the life wheel. If you've ever been life coached, then they use a life wheel. This is my version of it. It's a dashboard. Reason why it's a dashboard, because you can dial areas of your life up and down as you need them. You're in control of these dials. It's not all about everything being green and beautiful and achieving everything you want to achieve in every single part. Sometimes you have to dial down something for something else to dial up. The trick here is to understand what is it that you're prioritizing, and therefore what is it that's not getting any kind of airtime and therefore you're not achieving in. So have a think about these sections: your family and friends and relationships, your health and well-being, community, self-growth and learning, career and work, wealth and finance. Think about these areas. Scribble what is going on in each one of those areas for you. Where would you like to focus on more? Where are you currently focusing on? Again, this exercise, probably take 10 to 20 minutes on it and mind map it all out. Explore what comes up for you and start to plot out, right, these are some of the things I want to dial up in the future. I want to spend more time doing community work. I want to spend more time on my health. I want to spend more time learning and growing. I've been really static. I've done nothing. That was a huge thing for me. When I was made redundant, I did not realize how much I had not been learning new things and growing. I'd been very stuck in my job, completely focused on work, and just not looked outside that. I was doing learning within that job, yes, but not really growing. So challenge your thinking in each one of these spaces and set yourself some dials. Where do you really want to focus? What things perhaps you can dial down you've been doing too much of? This is all part of reimagining your future. So if you imagine those dials going up and down and you're kind of like, right, that's where I'm going to start stepping towards. Not that all of this can come together tomorrow, it's that you start stepping forward into it. And you can really reimagine what this could be. You're not a job title. You're so many different things, so many different components. And to start stepping out into that new space can be really exciting. Also terrifying to do it in small steps. So stay open. Think about what the wildest dream could be. What is it when all the dashboard is looking exactly how you want it to look and all the dials are in the right places? What does that look like? What could the future look like for you? So, stuck, the second step is about knowing that feeling stuck is a moment that you're ready to move forward. The feeling of stuck is a sign that you can open up to possibility, go exploring, get brave, reach out to people, tell them you want a job, tell them exactly what kind of job that you want. Start getting brave with ideas and stepping out and playing with it. And as Ryan Holiday says, manage your perceptions, recognize when you can change things, know what you control. Direct your energy into that space and learn to turn an obstacle into an opportunity. Highly recommend Ryan's book, The Obstacle is the Way, where he believes that we have to have an element of struggle and disruption to get something magic out of it. So start believing that that could be you. Just imagine in 3 years' time, looking back and going, wow, I'm so glad I lost my job. Look at what I did. That brings us into the third step, slow, slow, go. This slows it all down. So I'm kind of imagining at this point, you have got thousands of post-it notes all going off all over the place and loads of ideas in your head, and now it starts to feel really overwhelming. So what do? Start to slow it down. Reduce the overwhelm. Make sure you're putting routine and schedule into each day. Really important. Stick to it. Stick to it as if you are now, that is your job. Your job is to keep you in a good space. So putting routine and schedule is part of that. Included in that is downtime, scheduling downtime, scheduling times when you will look at email to see if anything has come out for it, schedule time when you go onto LinkedIn, schedule time that you will talk to people. Don't just spend all day on that apply button and refresh button and just all over the place. Put proper structure in and you'll start to feel like you're controlling your day. Take small steps, very small steps. I always recommend to people maybe 1 or 2 steps a day that will help you move forward. That's it. Be very steady and be really intentional with it. So if you do apply for a job, put everything you've got into it. Do the research, write the cover letter from the heart. Make sure that you absolutely put everything into it if you really want that job, because that's how you'll stand out. Because I can guarantee you there's 100 people who've also applied for that job that have just pressed an apply button. So if you put your heart and soul into something, you're already competing on top. You're in the top tier already. So do small steps and do them intentionally. Do 1 or 2 things. I've put do things in 3. So maybe set yourself 3 things to do. Once you've done them, then you can move on to something else. And sometimes say no. Say no so that you can say yes to things you really want. That can be hard sometimes, especially if you've maybe had a job offer for something that you don't really want, but you perhaps feel like you need the money. That's when you need to check into what's your need right now and what's your want. If the ultimate need and your that dashboard that you've created and the dial is right up to the finance bit, I need money, I need it, that is my priority, I've got to bring that in, then perhaps you need to say yes to that job. If it's, well, I've got a bit more time, I've got 6 weeks before I start getting desperate, say no. Keep doors open, keep absolutely focused on what you really want. Ikigai. Oh, look at this slide. That's making me feel very uncomfortable that all those words, all those letters have gone all over the place. Let's see if I can get rid of them. No, I can't. Oh well. Ikigai is a brilliant thing to think about. It's a great exploration of understanding why you do what you do. Look up the book Ikigai if this resonates, because you'll love the stories in it. Basically, Ikigai is all about finding your purpose and exploring why you do what you do. It could be that you do what you do because you're good at it and you love it. It's a passion job. You might do what you do because you love it and you feel like the world needs it. So therefore it's your mission. You might do what you do because the world needs it and you get paid for it. Could be your vocation. Or you could do what you do because you're good at it and you get paid. That's your profession. None of this is the right or wrong answer, This is all about you understanding why you do what you do and you feeling like you're consciously deciding that. So you have control over what you're deciding. If you want to earn loads of money, that's completely fine. You can do it through stuff that you're good at, or you can do it through stuff you think the world needs. If you want to do something where every day you get up and think, wow, I'm just loving this, I'm absolutely enjoying having the time of my life, then pursue a passion job or pursue a mission job. The key to all of this is once you know why you do what you do, you can then stop that thing in your head which moans about it. What is the point of that? How many people do we know do what they do and then they moan about it? If you're not happy with a part of this equation, then shift into one of the circles. Start to shift. A lot of people then will say, well, it's all right, you can't just, it's not as easy as that. Of course it's not as easy as that, but you can start to shift, you can step out, you can start to move in a different direction. The point is, don't get up every single day and hate what you're doing and bring that negative vibe into the workplace and, beat yourself up every day by moaning about it. Know the reason why you're doing what you're doing, and if you want to change it, know that you can. That is the key to a calmer, peaceful life. There's people that are in the office, perhaps not in the office right now, but moaning about, they don't want to be here, they hate this job. Icky guy will help them to understand what they really do want. Whole point of it is learn, train, grow. Everybody can learn something new. Everyone can train to do something they really want to do. Everyone can grow. That's every single human being's gift. So, next task, start a priority list. Really understand where you're spending time and energy. And flip that and say, where do I want to be Where do I want to be focusing on? This is where you really start to understand your wants and your needs. So it could be that this priority list, where am I spending time right now, is your need. I need to work, I need the money. That's completely fine. But where do you want to be? Where do you want to be moving towards? Could be something different. Understanding the very difference between wants and needs can be a massive game changer. They're not always completely aligned. This priority list will help you to understand how you take small steps to get to where you want to be. So create a priority list, understand why you do what you do right now, what is your number one priority, and are you happy about that? Is that what you need to be doing right now? Or can you start to make small changes which gets you closer to where you want to be? Your needs. So exploring the need a little bit more. It might be that you just need a job right now. That's the need. But it doesn't mean that there's just one solution. This is a brilliant graph that really explores what your choices are. And again, knowing that you've got choice will make you feel more in control. So actually, you've got a choice. You can choose to work for an organization that you really, really want to work for, has the same values, has the same mission, has the same services that you're passionate about. And you can do the must needs job, or you could get the foot in the door. You can also think about the job. So the organization and the business you work for versus the job that you are doing, two separate things that you can think about. It might be that you're just really happy being a project manager. You're not bothered what kind of organization it is. You just want to be doing that job. That's completely fine. That's your needs must job. You just want to be doing it. That's completely fine. But it might be that you just like, I'm a project manager. I just want another job, jump straight in. Called that the rebound job because actually sometimes you just need to check in with, well, is it the right organization for me? Am I going to get out of it what I want to get out of it? So it's a check-in. Stop before you jump. Or you might find yourself in a rebound job 3 months later after redundancy because you just had to go on and get this thing, but now you're sitting here thinking this isn't resonating, I'm not enjoying this. Completely fine, don't worry about it. The top goal, I guess, is the dream job where you're doing what you want to do and you for the organization that you love. That's perhaps the dream goal. So think about, if everything came true tomorrow, what would that ideal scenario look like? And it could be that you take a job because you just want a foot in the door and you're going to grow into that space in a different way. But again, know it, know why you're taking that decision, and that will help you to make the decision, and you won't beat yourself up. Not everything has to be completely lined up and perfect for the first step. It's about longer term gain. So ultimately, this whole piece has been about choice, and you got 3 choices: stick, twist, bust. Stick to what you know, what you do well, what your experience is, but perhaps upgrade. So get a job, but upgrade the organization. Get a job, but upgrade the location, the flexible hours, the pay, upgrade it in some way. Twist is about knowing what you're really good at, your strengths, your experience, but twist how you deliver it. So it might be that you start doing it in a freelance way. You might go and join an agency. You might teach it. So you're twisting your skill set. And then bust is you're throwing everything in the air. You're going to go and do something completely different, but you've always wanted to do it. So you might have to retrain. You might have to help yourself in a space that you've never been in before, but you really want to do it. Going back to that Icky guy, you know your why. I want to do this now because. So that's what will drive you. So know that you've got choice, and those are the 3 choices that you've got. So slow go is about slowing down, being absolutely clear on why, knowing and understanding who you are and how you're going to help you, understanding your needs right now and prioritizing that, and knowing that you've got choice. 4th step, unstuck. So we've kind of got to this space now where we're like, okay, I kind of have some ideas of what I want to do. Let's go. Let's just go. Let's get stuck in. Unstuck is sometimes where we start. So we lose our job, we get straight into how we dust off our CV, we start spreading our CV everywhere, and we hope for the best. We press that apply button 400 times and we get 400 rejections, we get CV fatigue, we're absolutely burnt out because we've jumped straight into unstuck from losing our job. We didn't go through the last 3 steps. But we have done that, and now we're here. We're in how. How do I do this? I'm feeling ready to go. What do I do? So the 3 things in Unstuck that I would say is think about planning. Now that might seem boring, okay? It might be like, I'm not a planner, but just understanding and writing down, reminding yourself, what am I doing? What am I trying to get out of this? So all of those tasks that we've talked about, your priority list, your dashboard, understanding your why, all of that stuff is helping you. That career journey that you might have mapped out. All of this is tools that you can put in your little plan in your toolkit that's going to help. The second thing is creating a story, and the third thing is creating a tribe. Let's explore in a bit more detail. So creating a plan. I've got 4 plans here that I think will make a real difference. And by plans, I don't mean doing 60-page PowerPoint or anything like that. It could be just in a notebook, you've just had some ideas around it and you're working towards it. So personal development is, what do you need? What are you needing to learn? What do you think you need to grow in? Is there things that you need to improve on? And go and find help. There's so much free resource out there now, or there's really good pay, you could pay for stuff that will really change your life. So understand, what do you need right now? Personal brand plan is, who do you need to be? This can be a little bit harder. So if you're getting a bit stuck, you're not kind of getting through the interviews, you might have to work in this space. Something might just not be connecting. I also say, like, don't get hung up on this, because sometimes it's actually just redirecting you to a space that you need to be. But think about personal brand. How are you coming across? Are you really putting everything into it that you can? Set yourself a 90-day goal. 3 months. Sounds like, really? Oh my God, that's overwhelming. But set it yourself 90-day goals of where you want to be in 3 months' time. What will you be doing? And start to kind of visualize that, and then work backwards. That's when you can take your small steps. Think, okay, what have I done today that have helped me to get to my 90-day plan? And then the final bit is that priority list that we talked about. That's your reality check. All the time, check in with your priority. What am I prioritizing right now? I can't get upset about not getting a job if I'm not prioritizing it. So create a plan. as I said, simple notebook, or if you do like plans, it might be a spreadsheet, but just have check-ins that you can keep yourself on track. Creating your story. Some people kind of talk about it like it's your personal brand. I kind of make it a bit looser than that. Knowing your lines to take, knowing the drumbeat that you're creating around yourself helps you get your next step. So if you've decided, right, I'm going to go freelance, I want some contract work in a project management space, start to use your story to put it out there and get other people to help you get your next move. So the next time someone asks you how you're doing or what you're up to these days, you have got your line to take. You've creating your story. Okay, I lost my job. It wasn't great, but I've set up this new consultancy. I'm now project planning. I'm doing some great stuff in this space. If you know anyone who's interested, send them my way. This is now what you need to be doing, telling people exactly what you're looking for. If you're wanting a new job in a space, tell them, I'm really looking for an amazing opportunity in HR. I've done all of this background around learning and development, and I want to bring it alive in a business that's doing exciting stuff. If you know of any opportunities, let me know. So this is about your story. It's not about just telling people, oh, this is me. It's about being very intentional on what you're trying to get out of it. Think about that 90-day plan. Where do you want to be in 3 months' time? And what's the story you're telling yourself and others that's going to help you get there? If you post on LinkedIn, be very intentional with your posting. Use your story to keep that drumbeat going. I'm looking for these sort of opportunities. Does anyone know about this? Start being a thought piece. Do thought pieces on the topics that you're interested in. Go niche into some really interesting stuff that you could be passionate about that makes you stand out in that field. That's what story is about. It's about demonstrating who you are, and it's about what you're saying that backs it up and what you're doing. So it makes others know how they can help you. The final bit is tribe. Check into the people around you. Your tribe might not always be your friends and family. Tribe are the people that will be helping you to move forward, progress, grow, feel good about yourself, be brave, be courageous. That's what your tribe is. Might be people you don't even know. Might be people you follow on social media. Might be somebody you listen to in a podcast. Might be someone's book. Tribe is not necessarily the closest people. Sometimes, actually, the closest people hold you in a space. They have got fear. They're projecting their fear onto you, and they're holding you in a space. So just be aware that there's two separate things. Network is not the same as tribe. Go searching for people. If you want to do something new, search for people who are already doing it. Start following them. Where do they hang out? Are they doing online events? Are they doing things that you can get involved in? Comment on their posts. Get closer to them. And know that actually your tribe you might not know them right now. You might have to create a tribe to get to where you want to be. So explore the community that you need right now and go and find it. I can guarantee you on Facebook, there's all sorts of groups out there, on LinkedIn, on all these social media platforms. There's people out there that will resonate with where you are and what you're doing, and they will want to help you too. Equally, you can help others. So create this whole community that's going to help you get to where you want to be. So let's go. We've got our plan, we've got our story, we've got our tribe. Every single step that we do from now on is intentional. Don't waste energy on shit that doesn't bring you into that space. I see too many people getting wound up about all sorts of things that don't help them. Why would you waste your time on stuff that's not going to help you? Examples are things like getting upset because somebody didn't come back and give you feedback from an interview. So what? You don't need their feedback. You keep in your lane. You stay strong. You do that work yourself. Did you really want the job? Did you honestly think that you did the best you possibly can in the interview? How do you feel about it? Don't wait for other people to solve your future. That's what this is all about. It's about owning it, staying in your lane, using your valuable energy to help you. Not getting worried about what's been going on in the organization that's left you. Not getting drawn into politics or moaning and groaning. That's not going to help you. Staying future focused, staying in that space, bringing new fresh people into your space. fresh ideas. That's what's going to help you move forward. That brings us to thrive, the final step. Now, this whole journey is not about going, oh, if you just follow these steps, well, da-da, you thrive and we live happily ever after. It's not like that. Every single day, you're going to have stuff that's going to make you wobble, that's going to bring self-doubt, it's going to make you feel a bit meh sometimes. It's going to, there's going to be challenges the whole way through. So thrive is not about thriving and everything coming true and, living this multi-millionaire lifestyle or whatever it is. Thrive is about knowing that you have control of how you respond every day. And it's about knowing what to do when things come along and perhaps don't go to plan. For me, thrive is the difference between being and doing. We can all do and get so busy and stuff, actually we lose our whole purpose. We have no idea what we're meant to be actually being. So it's being conscious about us owning our time, owning our space, owning our response. How do we interact with others? How much judgment are we putting out there into the world? How much are we taking on? So more consciousness of who we are and owning that space helps us to create a different thrive environment where we can grow. Being productive is very different to being busy. Head full of stuff here I've put, where you think you've got so much to do. People who you sort of chat to, how are you doing? Oh, I'm so busy. Slow it all down. Own what you're doing. Get really structured. Like, here's some really great tips on getting really structured with your day, about reducing that busyness. Thriving is about owning your actions and not letting actions consume you. Thrive is about being mindful. The difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. That whole thing about, when you've got a fixed mindset, oh, it's all right for them. I'm not good at that anyway. No, that's not me. I'm not doing that. Well, it's all right for you. All of that stuff. It starts to set a belief that this is the only box you can operate in. I get a lot of challenge with the book title that I've got around losing your job being the best thing that can happen. I completely get it. But I get a lot of people saying, well, that's all right for middle class people with money. That's fine for them. It's all very well you talking about that, but when you've got bills to pay, that's a fixed mindset, because actually I work with people from all different backgrounds, and sometimes the struggle is actually the thing that motivates and drives you more than comfort. People who have had big payouts that I've worked with have actually taken no action at all for months and months. They don't need to, they have no motivation to, they just kind of wallow for way too long, and they get themselves in a bit of a sticky situation in a different way. Some people that actually need to make money very quickly get really creative with who they are, what they've got to offer. I worked with a man the other day who he needed some money to pay his bills for his rent, and he got creative and he started a little gardening service in his community. From that, now I think he's now going to study landscape because he's just loving it. But he needed, that need drove him. So fixed mindset is actually, your opinion is just your opinion. It's not the only opinion. There's lots of different views, lots of different ways of looking at things. Comes right back to that very first message about opening up. And if you only see things from one perspective, you're only going to get one solution. So growth mindset is more about putting yourself in a space of, but what if? What if I learn? What if I try? What if I give that a go? If it all goes wrong, so what? Who cares? Just go again. So working on that mindset will really give you a very different way of approaching what happens next. Put here, being fearless. That sounds terrifying in itself, doesn't it? But it is. It's kind of doing things without chatter, your inner chatter telling you it's all going to be awful, because it probably isn't. No one cares what you're doing. They're all worried about themselves. So understanding that rejection is just redirection. It's just part of it. I get rejected about 5 or 6 times a week on things that I'm pitching for, or ideas, or most of the time probably get ignored. Actually, don't even get a rejection, probably ignored. It's fine, it's just part of it. I'm just going to move on. My job is to put stuff out there, move on, put stuff out there and move on. And if I get someone responding and coming to me and there's a match, okay, let's talk, let's work on it. Not being embarrassed of, that's the number one thing people say, but oh, I'm so embarrassed. What if no one sees my post? What if somebody laughs at me? What if someone says, oh, who cares? Get on with it, get on with it. Don't not do things because of this. It's just nonsense. Just get on with it. You're going to love it. You're going to have to take about 42 more horrible, awkward steps before you get what you want. So take the first one now, get it over and done with. Enjoy the embrace rejection and the failure, and just keep moving. Be fearless. Do it despite it. I love that. Despite everything inside you going, oh my God, this is awful, this is uncomfortable. Do it anyway and see what happens. We've talked about intentional before, being very intentional on what you're doing. So no longer just random acts. I'm terrible for this. I do so many random acts. But every now and again I will grab something and be so intentional with it. I'll know, why am I doing this? What do I want from it? What do I need to put absolutely 100% into it to get that outcome? And setting the clear intention will really help you to move forward well. Also, being intentional here, I've put, don't be afraid to pause. If things are starting to feel a little bit icky, they're not quite aligned, you're not quite feeling good, pause. It's not stopping, it's not giving up, it's just pressing the pause button to step back and think, right, where am I at? What do I need to do? How do I reset? So those are the 5 steps: shock, stuck, slow go, unstuck, thrive. I've whizzed through them very quickly. Obviously, it's probably good to stop and take notes and play with some of these activities. When you get stuck, have a think about, why am I getting stuck on this certain space? Have a think about asking yourself, what's holding me back? That's a really good question when you're having a bit of a sticky day. What is making me just sit here and making me feel like I can't step forward today? And you might get some answers. Sometimes it's about reaching out and just asking someone for a bit of advice. Sometimes it's about just giving yourself a break. Simple as that. So those are the 5 steps. The whole of Another Door is based on these 5 steps. We go through the 5 steps in the coaching program. We've also got the online system where it helps you, it prompts you, because each day there's a question just to sit with and think about. And then there's a bit more prompts around how to explore that further. Some people resonate with every single question. Sometimes you just brush over one and go to the next one. It's designed to go with you, because I get that this process of trying to find what you do next, it's not linear. It's a journey, to use the amazing squiggly careers analogy, it is squiggly, just exploring what to do next. It's squiggly, it's not a beautiful line. So embrace that mess, embrace that spaghetti bowl, and try and unravel it just for now. Where do you want to go next? What's stopping you? Where do you need to reset? We're going to be starting a new program in the new year, so look out for that. If you do need any help in the meantime, please drop us a note on Another Door, Amanda and I, and there's other people that we've been working with all sorts of different ways. We're here to help you, so please ask us anything. Anything. We know it's not an easy time at the moment, but we're having successes. We're seeing people getting great jobs. We're seeing people to set themselves up a new business and take that first step. So there's possibility, and I do believe that 2021 will be a time when we can reimagine ourselves. Maybe we can get something good out of all this. Thank you so much for joining in today. I have no idea how to I wonder if I can take this off. Close video. I don't want to I don't want to show it. Oh, there we go. Perhaps I'll do that. Thank you for watching this, and if you've got any questions, if we can help you in any other way, please ask. Take care. Thank you.